this car remains rock solid. Yes, it's more stable than your last girlfriend.
This is Ashish Masih Cars, helping you buy better.
Well, so let's talk about driving bits. Now, just like the diesel version of the car, even the petrol version comes with a 1.5 litre engine. Now, in terms of the power delivery, this car delivers its power in a very linear manner. There's no sudden rush of power after 2000 RPM, or there's no, flattening of power after 4000 RPM, nothing like that. Power delivery is very linear, very good, and there are no jhatkas, so to say, in the power band. And the power band is very well aided with the gearbox. It's a nice and smooth gearbox. It's not a CVT. It's a regular torque converter, and what you like about this gearbox is that the shifts, both upshifts and downshifts, are completely seamless in nature. You will never know when the gearbox is shifting gears, and when you're actually using it, you'll realize it's a very smooth, very efficient, and a very good gearbox. What you'll also like about this car is the fact that the steering wheel is nice and light. It's not as heavy as the one on the diesel version of the car that I have driven before, and you'll truly enjoy using the steering wheel of this car because it doesn't feel as heavy as the one on diesel, because the diesel engine is much heavier than the petrol. It's got the right amount of weight in it. Neither is it too heavy, neither is it too light, and you will simply enjoy driving this car because it's got the right amount of weight and is very feelsome as well. It's very accurate, and it really gives you the right sense of what the tires are doing up ahead, of what the wheels are doing up ahead. And when you turn it around, it gives you the exact amount of feedback, and the car also moves exactly how much you want it. So it's the best steering wheel, I think, on any compact car out there, irrespective of fuel, diesel, petrol, or whatever. Any compact SUV, this is the best steering wheel. And if you call yourself a keen driver, then definitely go ahead and take a test drive, and you'll agree with what I just said. Now, talking about gearbox once again, it's a nice and crisp gearbox to operate, but when you want a quick burst of power and you really want to push the accelerator pedal down, the gearbox and the engine, to get in unison, take a couple of seconds or maybe about a second and a half before you actually get going. So that's the only bit of nitpicking I'll do with this gearbox, that it takes a while, maybe a second or two. It's not as quick as, say, a dual clutch gearbox, a DCT gearbox on many of its fresh arrivals now, but it is well within acceptable limits. It's not something that is a deal breaker. It's just that I thought I'll do some nitpicking before you say that Ford has paid me money only to say good things about this car. Talking about good things, what you'll also like about this car is the ride comfort. Yes, the ride comfort is exemplary. No matter what kind of speeds you're doing, you might be doing slow city speeds, you might be doing faster highway speeds, you might be driving this car up at 120 kph on the highway. This car remains rock solid. Yes, it's more stable than your last girlfriend, and it just feels very reassuring, very safe and secure. In fact, if you go out on the highway in this car with your entire family, you'll really feel very secure, and a sense of security will be there, not only because of the nice ride, but also because of the fact that you can choose from 6 airbags. Yes, there's a specification where you also get 6 airbags, and that's the way these doors shut third in a very good way. You'll just feel very confident in this car. So it's a great trip to go out with your entire family on a long distance trip on the highway. Now, the good point about this car is not only its brilliant handling and its fantastic steering wheel, but also the fact that you get paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. Yes, this is something that you'll truly enjoy using, because a lot of its other rivals, which come with the more expensive versions, don't have this function, and this gives you a sense of greater confidence when you're pushing this car. And because it is a 6-speed gearbox, you'll truly enjoy using this gearbox a lot. And with this, it also gives you a sense of driver involvement. It gives you a sense of what it might be like driving behind the wheel of an F1 car. Now, of course, it's not a F1 car or a sports car, but still you get a sense of feeling of what F1 drivers or racing car drivers go through when they just flick this pedal over here and go down a gear, and flick this pedal here again, go up a gear. So that's something which also makes it a nice car for enthusiasts. And well, so here I am driving the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza Automatic. Now this car also comes with a torque converter gearbox, and this car also comes with a 59cc petrol, just like the Ford Ecosport. But the big difference is that this one is only a 4-speed unit. Yes, it's only a 4-speed unit compared to the 6-speed unit on that one. So there are some differences. But that said, the advantage that this car has is the fact that this car has the better ride comfort at slow city speeds, because this one isn't as stiff in the suspension department as the Ford Ecosport. The Ford Ecosport definitely has the advantage on the highways, but in the city, this car, the Vitara Brezza, does soak in the bumps much better. Slow city speeds, the ride comfort is better, and it does soak up all those badly made rumble strips and badly made potholes and all those patchy roads without too much fuss. In terms of ultimate driving pleasure, well, this car is quite good because the refinement from this engine is very good, and it's also a very responsive engine. Now the K-series engine is very good in terms of the overall refinement and in terms of responsiveness. Whichever car it does duty on in the Maruti range, it is a very good engine, and I reckon that this engine definitely has the advantage over the Ford's 59cc petrol engine, because that engine doesn't feel as responsive or as refined as this one does in comparison. In isolation, even that one isn't bad, but since we're comparing these cars today, it is of course this one which has the edge in terms of refinement. Now in terms of outright driver involvement, the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza is slightly behind the Ford Ecosport, because even though the steering wheel is nice and communicative and very positive in terms of its communication and feedback, it just doesn't have that same dynamic ability that the Ecosport offers, and the chassis also is tuned more for comfort rather than agility. So in that department, again, this one falls slightly behind, ever so slightly behind the Ford Ecosport. And these are two areas where the Ford car definitely has the advantage. One more area where Ford has the advantage is in overall safety kit, because Ford offers you 6 airbags in the top of the line version. It offers you a stiffer shell, because when you shut those doors, it does offer you better sound. But that said, even the Brezza offers you a 4-star safety rating, which is quite good, and is one of the safer cars in India. Not the safest car, but definitely one of the more safer cars in the compact SUV segment. So which one should you choose? Well, I reckon that both these cars have their own advantages, their own disadvantages. If you want a keen driver's car, if you want the ultimate driving machine, then definitely the Ecosport has a clear advantage over the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza. But if you want a car which offers you better space in the back seat, if you want a car which offers you better fuel efficiency, better refinement, better ride comfort in the city, then definitely the Vitara still holds its aces up. And if you want a car which also is good in terms of resale values, then the Vitara Brezza has a slight advantage. So yes, both these cars have their own positive and negative takes, but in isolation you have to decide what do you prefer. Do you prefer driving and thrilling car to drive? Then the Ecosport definitely will put a better smile on your face, because the chassis, the steering wheel and everything just feels better. And of course that has the advantage because it also gets paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, which this one doesn't. But apart from that, if you want a comfortable car, a refined car, a car which offers you very consistent fuel efficiency, and a car which also offers you good space in the back, then the Brezza is the car to go.